just remember the avalanche are starting right now.
So I can give you a hard time.
I heard there's a volcano.
What? We're talking about the avalanche.
Yeah,
Sorry. We're good to go. Okay, ready?
Yep.
Call to order the City Council regular meeting for the City of Wyoming, Minnesota, May 5th, 2026, 7 p.m. Let the record reflect, we do have a quorum. Member Luger, Member Onstad, Member Schilling. Was I saying mayor for all of you guys? Let's try that again. Let's try it one more time. Member Luger, Member Onstad, Member Schilling, Member Yeager, and Mayor Iverson are present. Anybody can be mayor tonight. Okay, so there you go. For a day. There you go. Okay, please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, Council, we just we had a work session from 5:30 to 6:15, talking about the Minnesota state flag. What I would like to do is I would like to amend our agenda and add a number 22. I would probably try it earlier, but I think it's just earlier to do number 22. So I'd like to make a motion for resolution number 260550 to be added as number 22 onto the agenda. So I make the motion. I'll make that motion. Do we have a second?
Second.
We have a second by Member Schilling. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? It has been added on number 22 on our agenda. All right, so first business is open forum. Open forum is an opportunity for members of the public to address the City Council on items that are or may not be on the current agenda. Items requiring council action may be deferred to staff or boards and commissions for research and future council agendas if appropriate. You will be limited to 3 minutes, and we ask that you conduct yourself in a professional, courteous manner and refrain from the use of profanity. Failure to abide by this policy may result in the loss of your privilege to speak. And I do ask, there's a lot of people here. If the theme is constantly the same thing, I may decide that that's kind of, we're good where we're at. So whoever would like to come up to open forum, we need you to speak loudly, right? Yeah, speak loudly. State your name and your address, please. So who would like to, if anybody's here for open forum, feel free to come on up and state your name and address. Yeah, come on up. Even though we know who you are, you still have to state your name.
John Bergen, 26345 Penwood Avenue.
Yep, you're good. Use your dad voice.
Okay.
There you go.
We own, you guys own the building now.
Yeah.
Is there any way we can open the street up and use that land and make a big turnaround or something for trucks? Because right now, all the garbage trucks back all the way down from the corner, all the way down, and back up the head to get the garbage.
Yeah.
So now one of them decided you can drive down and try and turn around. So one of those signs got broke off down there.
Yeah.
There's still room between the other ones, and now he backs up just about onto the highway 61, and then turns around and goes, so now he's got ruts all tore up there.
Yeah.
I mow it.
Yeah.
So if we could get another sign put in there and fix the one that broke off.
Okay.
But it'd be nice if we could just make a big, some place for them to turn around down there.
Okay, I appreciate that. Mr. McFarland, can you bring that up for staff meeting on that? That would be great. So we'll have them look at that, and then when it becomes, like when we start talking about it, I'll let you know, or just follow us. Yeah, that's it. I haven't thought about that.
Fire truck or anything.
Yeah. Yeah, yeah, that's perfect. Thank you, I appreciate that. That's a great idea. Anyone else? State your name and your address.
Betty Maloney, 25611 West Comfort Drive. And I'm at a bit of a disadvantage because I don't know the language you have regarding the new flag. But 2 points I want to make. First off, we're trading one seal on a bed sheet for the old seal on a bed sheet. Because that doesn't really say much to me. And I don't really feel it represents me. But the other point is, I I'm really concerned about process. And so there was a very elaborate and detailed process to reach the current state flag. You've been brought into this because someone didn't like the results of that process. And so by now deciding to change what's going on, you're actually letting people gum up how processes play. And think of if every decision someone can say, hey, I didn't like the outcome, then they can come and petition you to change the outcome. I think that you keep grinding things to a halt. And so I'm very concerned about that process as well as that.
Yeah, appreciate that. Yeah, appreciate it. Thank you. Anyone else? Seeing none, we'll move on to. What, we do, oh, come on up, I'm sorry, come on up. Just state your name and your address, please.
Nick Conley, 4950 259th Court. There's a couple things I'd like to try and figure out. Living right off the freeway over here, south of 22, it gets real loud with traffic on the freeway. I don't know what it'd take to try and get a sound barrier for that area with the new buildings or new housing. There's some people that are right on the freeway just about.
Yeah,
And then I am for changing the flag to the new flag, or to the old flag, going back.
perfect. All right, thank you, we appreciate
Can I
your-
actually say something? That's
Yeah.
funny that you brought up the noise barrier, because we back up literally to Highway 61, and you can't hear if I have my windows open at all. I was wondering, I'm like, can we put a sound wall here?
There,
It's noisy, so.
we can, ours backs up to Kettle River, but then it's just an open field.
Yeah.
That's
Mhm.
maybe 50 feet away from the freeway.
Yeah.
And we joke that we live on a freeway, we can't
Yeah.
Yeah.
enjoy our backyard,
Okay.
so.
We appreciate your input, and we can direct staff to maybe Mr. Erickson can kind of, yeah, he's got it. He's our engineer. He'll kind of look at that and see what can be done.
I know there's things help
Yeah.
through the state. Great. To get.
Yeah,
Yeah, great idea.
okay. Thank you.
Appreciate that. All right, you'll also be able to look at Mr. Bergen's request?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. All right, if there isn't no one else, we're gonna move on to number one, consider approving. We do? Oh, come on up, sorry. You know me, I'm just kind of ready to keep moving on.
Right? Ken Redford, 4700 East Viking Boulevard. I see you guys all here again, and reading your guys' agendas other times. I got a couple of little concerns here. First off, I'm right on 22, now it's getting warmer out, guys are getting their cars out, getting their motorcycles out. The patrol on there, or the speed is just getting ridiculous nuts, and then some of these guys got some really loud exhaust going on the cars. I know, I talked to Anoka County Sheriff, they've been getting a couple of them on the other side of the town as they're leaving the county. But it's getting really more dangerous out there, as we got a new neighbor across the street from me, he's trying to build his land and do everything right and put a house and be a family there, it's just gonna make it worse, along with everything else. That's a major concern, as I've seen it getting worse here as the weather's getting warmer. People are gonna be walking, they're using the sidewalks and coming across there, it's gonna be more dangerous to them. Which involves this winter, I watched our sidewalks never being plowed all through the whole winter. I had talked to our staff over there, nothing really got said, will get back to me. It's a safety factor. I watched a couple of people this spring jogging on 22, not using our sidewalks. Yes, I get the snowmobiles going through there. I'm a snowmobiler. But we always plow those things all winter long before. Snowmobilers always hug the side, everybody worked off the same.
Are you talking the path, not the sidewalk, like in the city?
The sidewalk itself going all the way from across the freeway down to the walking path.
Oh, okay,
Yeah.
okay.
All winter long it wasn't.
Okay. Got it.
Yep.
And I got those two major things. The other one is, I look at my bill, I get paid, I have to pay to have water run off my house. I own the land and the ponds that water is running out to. Why do I gotta pay the city water runoff? 22 water runs into my ponds. That's a concern there. Why am I paying this thing? And other people around the neighborhood that has multi-land and have that all running down there too. And the third agenda thing, I'm all for change the flag back to our nationality the way it was before. Thank you all.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Mr. Reeves, can you maybe put that down in terms of the
Yeah.
sidewalk, maybe address that with
Yeah.
staff.
Yep, so, just for everyone's sake of everyone's knowledge, the right-of-way along East Viking, we're describing from 61 and 30, that intersection to the west, that's county right-of-way. And, there's some agreement with the DNR and the snowmobile club in that area, because that concern did come up last year, and, we addressed it with the DNR and the county both. So I can get you a card, if you wanna follow up, we can chat more later. Please.
Yeah, because that's the one that runs over the overpass to McDonald's and then it stops at that
Correct.
point
Yeah.
for, yep.
It's not within our right-of-way.
That's what I thought, okay.
Okay. Mr. McFarland, is there a way in our newsletter to be able, as fall comes around, to really kind of let people know that that's not city, it's county and whatever? Do you think we could maybe put that on the calendar to do
We can
that?
certainly look into that.
Yeah.
Ms. Olson does a great job putting that together, so if I
Yeah.
tell her about that issue and concern, I'm sure she can come up with something. so.
Fabulous. Thank you, I appreciate that. Okay, one last time. Anybody else? I don't want to miss anybody. They're all keeping me honest up here.
Yeah.
Going once, going twice, 3 times? All right, we're good to go. Okay. Number 1, consider approving the minutes of the work session of the Wyoming, Minnesota City Council for April 21st, 2026. If there are no questions or comments, do we have a motion to approve?
So moved.
We have a motion to approve by Member Luker. Do we have a second?
Second?
Second by Member Onstad. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? So approved. Number 2, consider approving the minutes of the regular meeting of the Wyoming, Minnesota City Council for April 21st, 2026. If there are no questions or comments, do we have a motion to approve?
So moved.
We have a motion to approve by Member Onstad. Do we have a second?
Second.
Second by Member Schilling. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? So approved. Number 3, consider approving the minutes of the work session of the Wyoming, Minnesota City Council for April 28th, 2026. If there are no questions or comments, do we have a motion to approve?
So moved.
We have a motion to approve by Member Schilling. Do we have a second?
Second?
Second by Member Onstad. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? So approved. We have no scheduled public hearings. We're going to move on to the consent agenda. Consent agenda, items under the consent agenda will be adopted with one motion. However, council members may request individual items to be pulled from the consent agenda for discussion and action if they choose. So we're looking at number 4, 5, 6, and 7. Is there anything on the consent agenda that council would like to pull? Seeing none, we need a motion to approve the consent agenda number 4, 5, 6, and 7. Do we have a motion?
So moved.
We have a motion by Member Onstad. Do we have a second?
Second.
Second by Member Schilling. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? So approved. Next on the agenda is acknowledgement, receipts of reports of officer, boards, commissions, and department heads. Number 8, 9, 10, 11, and 12. Does a council member wish to pull any items for further discussion? Seeing none, we'll move on to communications, which I'm always very excited about this. Number 13, Touch a Truck 2026. I just have to ask this, Mr. McFarland, how many years have we been doing this?
Oh, that's a great question. It's prior to my arrival, so I can tell you
Yeah.
3 since I've been here.
Okay.
I don't actually know when it started, though. so
Yeah, I know.
apologies.
All of a sudden, I'm just like, we've been doing this a while, so sorry. Okay, your turn.
Yeah, Honorable Mayor and members of the City Council, City of Wyoming is going to once again host its Touch a Truck event in 2026 now. It'll be held once again at Goodview Park on Saturday, June 6th from 10 a.m. to noon. It's a great event. A lot of kids come out to it within the community, and a lot of our community partners and different businesses and organizations come out to show off their big equipment, their big trucks. Kids are allowed to usually come by, take a picture with it, sometimes sit in the vehicle. So one of the most well-attended events. We're excited again to have it here in the city. I do know currently Wyoming Police, our fire departments, Halverson Tree, SRC, Rosenbauer, and others have committed, and I'm still emailing individuals to get them confirmed. So excited to do it once again.
Yeah, that's really great. We just have people coming not only from Wyoming, but we even have some people coming from the cities, which I think is pretty fabulous. Any questions from council on the communication? Seeing none, we'll move on to new business. Number 14, to consider and approve the 2025 City of Wyoming audit presentation by Gern KDV. So, Mr. McFarland, do you want to start and then invite him up?
Sure, yes. Honorable Mayor, members of council, we do have Aaron Dahl with Bergen KVD. KDV, apologies, to go through the results of our 2025 auditing process. We will have a presentation up on the board that I'm pulling up, and Mr. Dahl will go through that entire thing. So if you do want to come up, Mr. Dahl, I'm just going up on the screen with it now.
Welcome back.
Thank you. Thank you, Madam Mayor, members of council. I appreciate the opportunity to present here tonight and the opportunity to serve as your city's auditors again for 2025. So we'll start with the audit results. Just to touch base a little bit, management is responsible for the financial statements. We as auditors are responsible to express an opinion on the financial statements. For the year ending December 31st, 2025, we did issue an unmodified opinion, which is the best opinion we can give as auditors. So a great job by the city and staff again in 2025. With that unmodified opinion, we're providing assurance that the financial statements do present fairly in all material respects the financial position of the city. We also issue a report in accordance with government auditing standards. Happy to report no audit findings there. So again, great job by the city, especially a city of your size. We usually see some lack of segregation of accounting duties or things like that, but kind of with the oversight of APDO and the city doing their job, we have no audit findings, so happy to report that. And then lastly, the Minnesota legal compliance audit, happy to report no legal compliance findings there as well. So that's where we kind of look at things like collateral, bid testing, conflicts of interest, things of that nature. So nice, clean reports all the way around. Next, we'll jump into kind of the communication letter. So some of the trends and analysis of the financial data for 2025. And the first chart we have up here relates to the general fund revenues. So we have this presented for the previous 5 years here. Overall for 2025, revenue did increase by about $407,000 or about 8.2% for the year. Revenue from taxes and special assessments increased by about $301,000 during the year, with an increase in the tax levy allocation for the general fund. Licenses and permits increased by about $109,000 in 2025, kind of related to the greater building activity in 2025 and some of those permits. Taking a look kind of at the 5-year trend, that has increased by about $1.3 million, comparing 2025 to 2021. And as you can kind of see, it has increased each of the past 5 years as well. Similarly, on the expenditure side, overall in 2025, expenditures increased here by about $667,000 or about 15.6%. Public safety expenditures, kind of the main driver there, increased by about $447,000, with higher expenditures related to salaries and benefits based on the number of employees, wage increases, and then also significant payments related to retirements during the year. So that kind of contributed to the increase in that program. Public works increased by about $150,000, with increases in salaries and benefits there as well. Similarly for culture and recreation, an increase there of about $85,000 with those higher salaries and benefits, along with greater contracted service costs in 2025. Again, kind of taking a look at the 5-year trend, that has increased by about $1.1 million compared to 2021, so slightly less than that revenue increase, and again, has increased each of the past 5 years. Next, we have some kind of pie charts breaking down the revenues comparing 2025 to 2024. Pretty similar comparing the 2 years. Kind of the one note there was licenses and permits increased from about 4.9% up to 6.6%. And some of that decrease was kind of absorbed by the taxes and special assessments, so that dropped from about 85% to 84%. Similarly, on the expenditure side, public safety continues to make up the majority of the expenditures, coming in at about 56.8% here in 2025 compared to 55.3% in 2024. Another kind of change there was general government, so that decreased from 17.2% in 2024 down to 14.8% in 2025. Next, we'll take a look at the budget to actual results for the general fund. So the city kind of adopted a balanced budget there with revenues and expenditures both expecting to be around $4.9 million. Actual revenues came in about $454,000 over budget, with actual expenditures being just $37,000 over budget. So also factoring in kind of those net other financing uses totaling about $542,000
Okay, on that, what was that 542,000 used for? Because we apparently went from a surplus to a deficit.
Yeah, so I think that's related to transfers out, so kind of, we'll take a look at the.
I'm
fund.
asking what exactly
Oh.
transfers out were, what the
Okay.
transfer out was.
Yeah, I don't have that exactly in front of me, but I think that kind of went to other governmental funds and then some of the other enterprise funds. Maybe dig into that and get back to you on these specific funds, but yeah.
And I should note too, we do have Miss Jessie Sturts with Abdo on, and I believe if there are any questions she can answer. I want to make sure that her the volume's up just in case. Yeah, we're muted. So Jessie, we can now hear you. If you're saying anything or if you need any questions repeated, let me know.
Okay.
Oh, one sec, Jessie. I've lost you again. Hold on.
Alright, Jesse, we try again.
Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, the biggest transfer that we did was we do that yearly transfer of transferring the excess, reserves over to capital. So that was the big one that we approved after the audit last year.
But was that big enough to turn a an over $400,000 excess into a deficit?
I believe a little bit of it too was purchasing of the building and miscellaneous expenses for all of that. If you need me to dig into a little bit farther, I certainly can.
All right, because the purchase of the building, I thought came from another fund because I don't see a $2.5 million purchase in there.
Yeah, that did as well. I'm pulling up the resolutions. Wait.
While you're doing that, Jesse, Mr. McFarland,
Yep.
I believe that the building we pay for 1.9.
Yep, that's correct.
Thank you.
Yep.
Okay. But there's still not 1.9 in there.
Yeah, I just wanted to make sure that was.
Oh.
Yeah.
I'm guessing that would have probably come
Yep.
from a capital fund, so yeah, kind of the capital
Yep.
outlay expenditures
Yep.
here is relatively low for the general fund. Typically pay for a big purchase like that.
Go ahead, Jesse, did you have something else you wanted to add to that? Or clarify?
Yep, I got them pulled up right now. So we transferred. I apologize, my computer's being extremely slow. $14,000 of it we passed in September of 2025. Transferring those TIF funds to the general fund, so that was the transfer into the general fund, and then we had the transfer out of $561,994.
Yeah, that's what
So-
I'm asking, what's
Yep.
what's that,
Yep.
where did that all go?
So every year we, after the audit, we review the financial statements and any excess funds over the fund balance policy, we transfer into the capital project. So
Yeah.
in 2025, we transferred $561,994 from the general fund to the 401 fund because we had excess reserves last year.
Oh, okay, so
And
that 561 is the whole thing?
Yep, so we did that entire transfer out, and you guys approved that on June 3rd of 2025.
Okay,
And
Yep,
Jess,
and we've been doing that for a couple of years, I think.
yeah, Jesse, we have a lot of residents in the audience. Can you just really quickly explain that we have to transfer money and put it somewhere else by state law?
Yep, so the city has to carry a fund balance. and, it's between 35 and 50%. The Federal Reserve tells you that. And every year after the audit, we review the fund balance, and we take it down to that amount and transfer that money out of the general fund and into the capital reserves. And the city's been doing that for a number of years now to build up that capital so they can purchase other capital purchases.
So to allow then a decrease in the fund balance, was that to take the fund balance down closer to 55%?
Yep. Yep, every year after the audit, I do a calculation and, I do a calculation in a spreadsheet, and it gives me that amount, and that's what we transfer.
Okay,
So this year, when the audit's completed again, I will review it again, and if there's excess funds, we'll transfer, and if there's not, we won't.
okay, thank you.
All right.
Yep.
Thank you. Mr. Dell, sorry, in the middle of your presentation, we
Well, I didn't
interrupted,
know when,
so it's
if to
good.
save the questions or
Yeah,
just
no,
get them
it's
on
all
the
good.
screen.
No, it's good, we'll just get it done.
All right, just digging in a little bit to the revenue budget to actual results again. So again, those came in about 9.2% over the budgeted revenues for the year. The main driver there, licenses and permits, was about 194,000 over budget again, surrounding that greater building permit activity than anticipated with the budget. Miscellaneous revenues were about 120,000 over budget, surrounding investment income and reimbursements exceeding the budgeted amounts there. Intergovernmental revenue exceeded budget amounts by about 97,000 as police, fire, and other state aids were kind of budgeted conservatively there, so those also came in budget. On the expenditure side, actual expenditures were over budget again by about 37,000 or just 0.8% there, so pretty spot on from the expenditure side. Public Works had a variance of about 95,000 over budget, with repair and maintenance and contracted service costs coming in a little higher than anticipated. That was partially offset by public safety expenditures being under budget by about 38,000, as fire and building inspection salaries and benefits were less than anticipated there. Here's the fund balance part, so kind of what we were talking a little bit about here. So that unrestricted fund balance of about 3.1 million at the end of 2025 represents about 7.5 months, or about 63.4% of 2025 expenditures. The city's target general fund balance is to maintain an unrestricted fund balance of an amount not less than 55% of subsequent years' budgeted expenditures. At December 31st, 2025, that unrestricted fund balance represented about 58.7% of the 2026 budget. So that's kind of what Jesse was talking about. Especially last year, we probably had more than that 58.7, so that's why it was a bigger transfer. There'll kind of be room here in 2025 to have a similar transfer out.
Yeah, I was looking for the resolution in my records, couldn't find it, so I'd ask.
No, that's a good question. All right, next we just kind of have a chart here showing some of the tax information. So taking a look at tax capacity rate, and then the tax levy itself. So kind of comparing 2021 to 2025 here, the city's tax capacity has increased by about 3.8 million, or about 36.9%. The certified levy has increased by about 1.3 million, or 30.2% over that same time frame. As a result of the taxable tax capacity increasing at a higher rate than the tax levy, you see the tax capacity rate has decreased from 43.3% down to 41.2%. So pretty similar trends there, kind of comparing the capacity with the levy itself, each increasing over the last 4 years, with a slight decrease in the capacity here in 2025. Next, we'll jump into the enterprise fund. So kind of starting with the water fund here. Operating revenues for the year increased by about 40,000 or 5.9%, based on the rates and usage there. Operating expenses decreased by about 7,700 or 1% for the year, with decreased allocation of salaries, benefits, and pension expense to the water fund here. The end result was an operating loss of about 65,000. If you factor out depreciation, then you have an operating income of about 232,000 for the year.
Okay, why are we showing an operating loss?
I'd have to look back in the record specifically.
Okay, and then the second question is going to be, when we did the rate study, it was on, we were told we were going to, the water fund would start showing, operating in black by 2027. Given the projections up there, are we still on track to meet that expectation?
I'd have to look into it further. I wasn't here for the last rate study when it was prepared, but I can review it and get back to you.
Okay, thank you.
I thought it did show a loss and then next year a positive. if I
Well, yeah,
remember.
it was, because I remember asking,
Yeah.
we're gonna raise the rates, but we're still gonna be at a deficit. I was
Yep.
told in 2027 it would,
Be
even
even.
out.
Yep.
So that's the second question is, are we on track to even out, given that we are still showing an operating deficit?
Mr. Reeves, you'll look into that. Mr. McFarland, you'll make sure we get
I
an
know that
answer.
we had for sure one water main break in 2025, and then we had 2 service repairs, curb stops that we had to do. So,
Sorry, ones that weren't, those are things we can't expect.
Emergency repairs,
Yeah, thank you.
Next, we have the net position for the water fund, so that kind of consists of 2 components, the unrestricted net position and then the net investment in capital assets. The total net position did increase by about $332,000 for the year. The net investment in capital asset piece decreased by $98,000, while the unrestricted net position increased by $430,000. So that unrestricted net position reflects the fund's ability to cover the costs of operating expenses as well as the costs of infrastructure and equipment replacement. So that did increase on the unrestricted side of things. Next, we have the sewer fund. Operating revenues here increased by about $40,000, again, kind of based on the rates and usage, while the expenses decreased by a large chunk of about $393,000, with less expenses related to repairs and maintenance, along with significant expenses being noted in 2024 related to the Chisago Lakes Joint Sewage Treatment Commission, as that bond principal was paid off. So that one did see a big jump from a deficit of about $380,000 in the prior year up to operating income there of about $51,000. So that was the first year there that had operating income for the sewer fund. So that was a good trend to see. Similarly here, the net position piece for the sewer fund, in total, that net position increased by about $312,000. The unrestricted side increased by $511,000, with the net investment in capital assets decreasing by about $200,000 there. And then lastly, the surface water fund, operating revenues here increased by $22,000 during the year, again, based on rates and usage, with the expenses increasing by $84,000. It looked like that expense increase was due to higher salaries and benefit allocations, professional services, and MS4 engineering fees related to that fund. Still saw an operating income here of about $66,000, which was positive for the 3rd consecutive year for the city. And then operating income here without depreciation was at about $121,000.
Okay. I'm seeing a trend where operating expenses are declining. Do we have any idea of why? No?
I don't, we just redid our rate study in the fall. We've shifted our inspections for our engineering firm, work with WSP. And then also making sure that we have enough on hand so that when we encounter sinkholes, which we're working on 2 currently right now with a private contractor, so we gotta have the funds on hand for when
Yeah.
we need them.
I'm just more concerned that we're declining and that would affect a future rate study.
Right.
Because I have enough people upset having to pay for a surface water bill. I don't want to sock them with a big.
Right, and that was, I believe that was taken into account during the rate study. that we
Right,
conducted.
I'm looking at the future, I'm looking at a future rate study if we are, to continue to decline like that.
Right.
And this is the first year of our new fee, basically, the increase.
5 year, yeah.
Yeah, so I think that to Member Yeager's point, it's something that we should keep track of and make sure that we're kind of following what's going on with that. So, but it is the first year. So, I mean,
I would imagine that Erickson North Star took those figures into
Yeah.
account when they prepared the rate
correct.
study for the
Yeah,
next 5
correct.
years.
Yeah, thank you.
And the last slide here, related to net position for that surface water fund. Did see a total increase there of about $133,000. The net investment in capital assets decreased by $55,000, with the unrestricted side increasing by about $190,000, kind of based on the current year operations that we saw. So with that, I'll open it up to any further questions or comments.
Okay.
from council members.
Member Yeager started. Are there any other questions?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
If you look on page 87 of the packet, and I think it's hard for me on the screen, page 29 on the financial report,
Okay.
we see that the capital revolving fund 409 went from a good-sized balance of $2 million, $2.3 million, to a deficit of just under $50,000. Do we know why that occurred?
I think Jesse is still online. Jesse, are you still with us?
Jesse, you're talking.
Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Okay. The building was purchased out of the capital revolving fund. So
Okay.
that's why we see that large expense coming out of there this year.
But weren't we taking the capital revolving fund to pay the architect and the contract man, the construction manager?
I think all the expenses were coming out of there.
Come again? I didn't
All
catch.
of those expenses are coming out of the 409.
Okay, so it's building
Revolving fund.
purchase and then the architect and the construction manager.
Yep, as of right now, yep.
Any thoughts of how to erase that deficit and bring the fund back up?
I believe you might be bonding for that.
I was gonna say
I'm
that's
not
future
100%
discussion.
sure.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
that's a future work session discussion.
Well, my concern was
Yeah.
if in case another expense came up that we would take out of that fund, there's no money to take out of that fund.
Yeah, yeah. Great.
And then the last question I had was, do you have a bound copy available like you've had in previous years? It makes my life so much easier when I compare
Yep.
year to year.
Yeah, those should have been shipped, so if they haven't been received yet, we can certainly send them. Yeah, we can follow up on that.
Okay, thank you.
All right. Mr. Dahl, thank you very much. We appreciate it. All looks pretty good.
Sounds good.
Thank you. Jesse, thank you. We appreciate you being online with us.
Not a problem. Have a good night.
You too. Thank you. All right, Member Schilling?
I actually don't have any questions. She kind of hit both of them I had out of hers, so.
Okay. Member Onset?
No questions.
All right, and Member Luger?
I also have no questions.
All right, so we need a motion to consider and approve the 2025 City of Wyoming audit presentation. Do we have a motion?
So moved.
We have a motion by Member Schilling. We have a second by Member Onstad.
Yep.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? So approved. Number 15, to consider Resolution 260548, a resolution approving plans and specifications and ordering advertisement for bids for city facility projects. I'm not sure who's starting us off with that. Mr. McFarland?
Yep, I'll be taking that.
Okay.
Yeah, honorable mayor and members of the city council, the city staff, Wold Architects, Kraus and Anderson, as well as all of our consultants have continued to work and do their due diligence on the new proposed City Hall, police building, and then the renovations to the fire department. Throughout this entire process, City Council has reviewed the project updates at multiple work sessions, including one last week, including discussions on that project scope, phasing, and the financial considerations. Based on that input, the project has advanced to a point where it is ready to proceed to the bidding phase, as was discussed at the last work session. I guess not the last one, the one prior to the one we just did today. At that recent work session, council provided directions to move forward with soliciting bids for the fire department and city hall components of the project, kind of phase one. If it is approved at this meeting, then advertisement for bids would be anticipated to go out May 8th, 2026. And then bids would be due June 2nd and ready for the city council meeting that day. Following receipt of the bids, Wold would review the results and return to city council with a recommendation for contract award. So you're not locked into anything until you actually would award that contract. So then with that, city staff is looking for approval for the resolution to authorize advertisement of bids for the city facilities improvement project.
Okay, and we do have a representative here from Kraus Anderson,
We do,
correct?
yep.
Okay, I'm just gonna have you come up in case there's any questions, would be fantastic, thank you. We're gonna start with Member Schilling with questions or comments.
No questions or comments. I'm looking forward to the bid process. Hopefully, we can get very favorable bids. I know that seems to be the trend. You and I talked about that after the meeting, so fingers crossed. Hopefully that is a benefit for us, so.
Member Onstad?
I too hope for good bids, and let's move forward.
Member Luker?
I have no questions. Looking forward to getting this going.
Member Yeager?
Okay, I do have 3 concerns. The first one is not having enough information to move forward. We don't know the full cost of the project. You just threw out some high-level numbers of over $9 million with no supporting documentation at the last work session, and that was only for Phase 1. There is no cost estimate for Phase 2. I understand your reasoning for that, but I have to wonder because it's my understanding that the city is about to do another long-term plan, a long-term financial plan, and that number will be needed to be put into that plan. So I'm wondering if that number does exist somewhere. My second, you want to say something?
Nope.
Oh, okay, I'll keep
He's
droning on.
listening.
All right, my second concern is escalating cost. When this was first presented as a $9 million project that would include fire hall, city hall, and police renovations, then that estimate went up by 33% to $12 million for all 3 components. Now it's up to $9 million for 2 components, making up Phase 1 and an unknown open-ended amount for the 3rd component. It's been said that the current plan is better than $19 million, but if you recall in January 2023, the project was shelved when the cost hit over $15 million. Given that in October 2025, the police component alone was estimated at just under $6.2 million, and I'm assuming that that number will go up as costs have gone up. Now you're back over 15 million and maybe even closing in on that 19 million. I have concerns about, we say this is better than, but costs are rising so much, we might end up bumping up to what it's better than. The third concern I have was the viability of doing the Phase 2 in 2029. What happens if the costs are increased so much that the project becomes unaffordable? The council at the time, I won't want to see this, but they may have to make a decision of overtaxing people or leaving the police where they are in a facility that's not been referred to complimentary. I mean, I always wonder why we're leaving them there to 2029 in the first place, if it's so bad. So those are my concerns. If it were me, my solution would be go back to try to bring the total cost of this project down before we move forward with bidding on just one price and with an open-ended Phase 2.
Thank you, Member Eager. I think some of those questions have been answered. One of them being, we currently have someone leasing space in there, and there's a term, I can't remember when it ends, so what?
Yep, until the end of 2028, the eye clinic will be in there. There's options to terminate as well, but council's made the decision at this point to honor that lease through 2028.
Yeah, and we do receive that rent money, which is?
$50,000, and I don't know the exact
Yeah,
frequency
that's fine.
that's paid.
Yeah, okay, so which will go to help pay for this building. So that has been addressed. We do understand, we started this in 2019, and the cost has gone up because we have not made that decision. We were looking at a brand new building. We knew that that was cost prohibited. We backed up from that. We found this great building that has good bones to it that was not gonna cost $20 million for 2 buildings, right? We're getting 3 out of that. So those questions have been answered, and I do understand Member Yeager, who does a good job keeping track of all of that, but they have been answered. So, and I do believe that you had stated that the bids have been really good. So we're doing this, that will continue to happen. So if you can explain kind of some of those thought process that goes into how you bid that out, because it's far better to go a little higher than it is to go lower. It's kind of like our roads, right? You go a little bit higher, this is kind of what you're thinking, and then they come under. So if you could maybe explain some of that thought process,
So
please.
our goal in all of this is to bid kind of that mid-level. We don't wanna bid for the top one, because then you're budgeting for items that you may be able to afford come in bid day if you come in well under. We don't wanna bid for the bottom dollar, the cheapest proposals, because then, you know, if you have a rough bid day, they could come significantly worse. What we try to hit is that mid-ground. Right now, we're seeing things come in under, so for us, it's been strategic to get bids out there, and recent projects that we've seen have been significantly, I shouldn't say significantly, but they have been lower. Something that we've done is to spread out how we bid it, and I was working in the lobby on work scopes, and what those work scopes are is we could bid this and have, you know, 3 work scopes and have, you know, different general contractors. Well, that's not strategic for us. Strategic for us is to get as many bidders on this thing as possible. So what we're trying to do and understand is where that comes in, and how we can be strategic in the work scopes that we build for each contractor to bid this.
Appreciate that.
That
And
answers your question.
yeah, that was a good question. I know I've been, I'm one of those people that are very much like change orders and all that are bad. And we've had this conversation publicly, right? And I'm, have a lot of faith in Krause Anderson after our conversations that you're gonna keep an eye on that. So, okay, Member Schilling.
I just want to make one point, because, you know, she is correct. Why are we waiting on the PD? But, so if we look at this from the start of 19, we originally looked at PD and fire because those are our 2 worst facilities. Everybody knows this, everybody on the staff knows this. We could not afford the new building because, as she said, it jumped up very rapidly over a 2-year period. So we were lucky enough to find this, and logistically, this is the only thing that made sense because we do have, we have that lease through 28. So essentially what we're doing is we're taking care of the number 2 problem immediately. And at the same time with this, because City Hall is moving there, this is being renovated for fire. And then the lease runs out, and then we look at that focus of that 2029 for the PD. So, and the reason we don't have any of those hard costs is because it is a phase 2, and we haven't moved forward with any of the designs. We haven't looked at it as a square footage, what the needs were. So that's just kind of the reasoning why, and my understanding is why we did that. It was a logistic reason to make do with what we have, so.
See, my response to that would be, these are things we should have been known when we presented it, when it was presented as a $9 million project for all 3. What the police needed, what was needed to make it work.
Oh, they know what they know. They know what they need. We just haven't paid that money to go through to get that final number.
All right, Member Schilling, is there anything else you
No,
want to say?
that was
Okay.
it, sorry.
Member Onstad.
No questions.
Member Luker.
Also no questions. Thank you.
I have no questions either. So we appreciate you being here and answering those questions. So we need a motion to approve Resolution 260548, a resolution approving plans and specifications and ordering advertisement for bids for city facility projects. I believe in this project. I will make that motion. Do we have a second?
Second.
We have a second by Member Luker. It looks like we have a third as well. So, okay. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
Nay.
So approved. Thank you. Number 16, to consider Resolution 260549, a resolution approving conditional participation in the MPCA Clean Water Partnership Loan Program for Liberty Pond. So I'm not sure, Mr. McFarland, if you're speaking this or Mr. Lunan, so, or both.
Yeah, Honorable Mayor and members of council, I can kick us off, and then I'll pass it over to City Attorney Lunan. For the, I'd say, better part of 2 years now, city staff, various of our consultants and city council and Liberty Pond has been working together on this septic system kind of replacement project that's going on in Liberty Ponds. During that time, council has reviewed a number of potential approaches and numerous requests at work sessions and city council meetings from the HOA, including private financing, public financing tools, and longer-term infrastructure considerations. One of the association's requests was for the city to participate in the MPCA Clean Water Partnership, CWP, loan program to help finance this project. We discussed that at the most recent, well, not most recent, at a recent work session with the city council and HOA members present. And from that work session, staff was directed to move forward with putting together an agreement or resolution intended to respond to that request that establishes clear expectations that must be met by the HOA before the city proceeds any further with the CWP loan. The total project is currently estimated at approximately $3 million. Those numbers will get more refined as that project, I'm sure, moves along. The CWP program could provide up to $1.25 million of that loan, leaving an anticipated balance of $1.75 million to be secured by the HOA. Participation in that program would require that the city acts as a loan sponsor, and we pledge our full faith and credit to that project and HOA. Because of that, the resolution is structured to ensure that several key items are addressed. Some of them were concerns from council, and then also concerns from legal counsel as well. Those include requiring the project to be fully designed and competitively bid, confirmation that financing is in place for the remaining project costs, so the part that we're not providing via the loan, that $1.25 million, execution of assessment waivers from all benefiting property owners to support repayments, and the establishment of an escrow to cover the legal, administrative, and related city costs that come with that CWP process. Those conditions are necessary to ensure the project is fully financeable and that the financial responsibility remains with the benefiting properties, the HOA, while limiting exposure of legality or legal issues to the city. If the resolution is approved, staff and legal counsel would move forward with preparing any related documents consistent with those terms, and any final participation, submission to the MPCA, or execution of loan documents would return to council for approval once all conditions are satisfied. So just want to stress the resolution states the steps that they need to make those conditions. Once they're all met, we would come back to council. We wouldn't move forward with any of this without proving that they have accomplished those things. So with that, I don't even know, Mr. Lunan, or Attorney Lunan, if there's anything in addition you want to add to that. Otherwise, the resolution has been attached.
Yeah, thank you, Administrator McFarland. I want to emphasize that this resolution is the first formal step by the city that puts to paper the city's intent to move forward with this project. And what it does is it imposes the conditions listed there, and I'll note that the resolution in the packet is different. You guys have the updated one that changes the escrow language, and I'm happy to speak to any of the conditions. But what this does is it puts to paper the conditions that Liberty Ponds has to meet. It gives them a clear roadmap. It also then is a formal statement from the city that Liberty Ponds can bring to lenders when they are trying to fill that gap to know they have the initial 1.25 and they need the gap funding so that they know that this money is available once the conditions are met. So it's not officially committing us to anything, it's conditionally committing us. And once they meet all those conditions, then as Administrator McFarland said, we'll come back with the agreement. The city will still have to approve that agreement, but by this resolution, you're indicating if they meet all these conditions, we will approve that agreement.
Mr. Lunan, I just again want to clearly state, and you'll probably do it better than I will, that this does not affect our residents, the other residents within the city, correct?
Correct. So the city is obligated to repay the CWP funds. The project, these conditions, as well as the agreements that will be subsequent and signed with the individual owners within the association, provide the greatest amount of security to protect the city and protect the citizens. Of significant importance with regards to the funds are, one, that provision 2D within this resolution, which provides that Liberty Ponds is submitting an escrow that's cash that will be available to the city for all professional services, for any title work that we have to do, to make sure that all that money is being paid by the association, reimbursing the city for the costs of my time. If the city engineer needs to get involved, all of that will pass through and be paid by them. So that those funds won't go. In addition, with the repayment piece, as we discussed at the last meeting when we talked about this, the plan and the requirement with these conditions is that each individual owner within the association will sign the assessment waiver in amount sufficient to ensure that the funds are available to repay CWP. The assessment waiver is significant because it attaches to the property. And the city can then execute on that if somebody were to default, just like if they were not pay their taxes. And so it provides the greatest amount of security to ensure that that money is gonna be available and that the citizens outside of the Liberty Ponds neighborhood are not gonna be responsible for repaying this loan.
Okay, thank you. Member Onstad, we're gonna start with you with any questions?
No questions.
Okay. Member Luger?
I have no questions. We discussed several options last week, and I think this is the best one that supports folks in Liberty Ponds as well as the rest of our residents, and I just really appreciate staff's due diligence and time on this. I know it's been in discussion for quite a while now, so.
Okay. Member Yeager?
Well, all right, with these conditions, how would you categorize the risk to the city in case of a foreclosure bankruptcy? Is it minimal? Is it moderate, negligible?
Thank you, Councilmember Yeager, Mayor Iverson, members of council. We can't predict if someone's gonna go into foreclosure, if someone's gonna go in, the bankruptcy wouldn't be affected because the lien would remain on the home, the foreclosure wouldn't be affected because the lien would remain on the home. All that would do is delay when the city will get its money, but the city will still get its money. And this is the reason that the city moved forward with requiring the individual owners versus having the association commit to it. Because if it was the association, there would actually be a time period, a look-back period, and we wouldn't be able to recover all of the funds that we might need. Here, if there's a foreclosure, if there's a bankruptcy, the city will still realize it upon the sale of the property. And once that gets settled out through the foreclosure process, then the city gets paid, they have to get paid, and so we'll get the funds back.
Yeah, I know, I understood that. I was just looking for a risk assessment, whether we're at negligible, non-existent.
Sure.
How would you categorize that risk assessment?
Councilmember Yeager, Mayor Iverson, members of council, it's not non-existent because members can go into foreclosure, but I guess I'm trying to, are you saying what is the assessment that someone may go into foreclosure or declare bankruptcy?
No, I mean, did we bring our risks down from like a moderate risk that if somebody goes into foreclosure or bankruptcy, whatever, that the rest of the city would have to pay, without conditions, and with the conditions that, let's say, moderate risk has been brought down to minimal, negligible.
Okay, I think I understand what you're saying, and the answer is we've eliminated the risk that the city's gonna get the money.
Okay,
So the city will get the money from those homes, as long as the members sign the waivers, which is the requirement. That's why we did this one. So there's not a risk. Again, there could be a potential delay if something were to go into foreclosure. We have to go through that whole process, but ultimately, as far as the risk is concerned of will we not get the money, no. With this process, we've eliminated that risk.
that's what I was trying to get at.
Member Schilling?
I actually have no questions. We've talked about this at great lengths. I do want to thank staff. Literally, there was a tremendous amount of work put into this, a lot of hours, so.
Mr. Lunan, my only question I have is, does every resident, or every home has to sign on to this? And if they don't, then what happens? I think we know that answer, but I just want to make sure that we have that clear.
So if you look at the resolution, condition, section 2C of the resolution does provide that each record owner of every property benefiting from the project within Liberty Ponds shall execute an assessment waiver in a form approved by city attorney, acknowledging and consenting to the levy and collection of special assessments to secure repayment associated with the costs, and waiving such statutory procedures as are legally waivable and identified by the city attorney. That's the requirement. That being said, as council's aware, our office also worked on a similar CWB project in Scandia that was a smaller scale, and we would likely follow similar procedures, which include, one, first and foremost, the city has to have the guarantees that it's getting the money to pay back the loan. The individual homeowners will have an option, as opposed to signing the assessment waiver, to just pay the money up front. Similar to how we do a road assessment, you can pay it up front. So that would be an option if someone did not want to sign the assessment waiver. Finally, and I mentioned this at the last meeting, that if there's a situation Where owners within are not signing, the requirement is the city has to have guarantee that all the money is coming back. So there's a potential that the association, other members would have to take on a bigger burden if their neighbors are not willing to participate, or the city doesn't go forward with the project. And I'll acknowledge, they are pretty harsh terms, and we're running a tough bargain, but ultimately, our obligation, the city's obligation, is to all of the taxpayers, and we're writing this in a way that makes sure that all the protections are in place. And while someone may look at it and say, you know, some of this is somewhat unreasonable, I acknowledge it, you know, it's a very strict agreement that provides great protection to the city, and that's how it has to be.
Thank you. I appreciate that. That was my only question. So we'll get back to number 16, to consider resolution 260549, a resolution approving conditional participation in the MPCA Clean Water Partnership Loan Program for Liberty Ponds. Do we have a motion to approve?
So moved.
We have a motion to approve by member Schilling. Do we have a second?
Second.
Second by member Onstad. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? So approved. Number 17, to consider a proclamation declaring National Public Works Week as May 17th, 2026 to May 23rd, 2026. Mr. Reeves, are you discussing this one tonight?
Yes, Honorable Mayor and Council. I'd like to thank Mayor and Council for recognizing the efforts and the commitment of our Wyoming Public Works Department. They're dedicated professionals who are the backbone of our community's infrastructure. And from May 17th to 23rd, we're going to celebrate National Public Works Week under the theme of People, Purpose, and Presence. This theme underscores the commitment of public works professionals whose work and efforts are not often visible to the community we serve. We ensure daily lives run smoothly, and as a fellow Public Works Director in Minnesota says, we make normal happen. The work of our maintenance team is essential to the quality of life we enjoy. The Public Works team ensures that our water is safe to drink, the sewage flows away from our basements, maintains our roadways, and keeps our parks clean and safe. In the middle of the night, they wake up to come in and clear the snow from the streets so we can get to school, work, and other activities. And in severe weather, they stand by, ready to respond when the power goes out so that the lift stations continue to pump. On behalf of the Public Works Department, I'd like to thank the residents, council, mayor, and city leadership for their dedication to our department in the way of a robust CIP for our vehicles, commitment to our fleet equipment, and for ultimately supporting our goals to build facilities that will enhance our effectiveness and efficiency. In the spirit of this week, I encourage our residents to take a moment to acknowledge our hard work and dedication of our Public Works crew. Whether it's a simple thank you or a wave, let us show our appreciation for their efforts. Thank you.
Mr. Reeves, I'm just going to say this. I like leading by knowledge and heart as a mayor. And there was, probably about 5 years ago, I wanted to see what it was like to be in the snowplow, right? I don't think you were here yet, but so I got up 2 a.m. I think we had a lot of snow that year. I was in there for 8 hours, right? Just really kind of understanding how those plows work, what Public Works does, and how hard that job is. So I appreciate us being able to recognize them. I have not done pothole filling yet. I may not do that, but it might be kind of interesting.
It does smell good.
So I don't know, but I'm glad that we're able to do that. So that's my only statement. We'll go with Member Lugar next.
I have no questions. I have such a profound appreciation for what our Public Works staff does. It is really incredible, and so we really appreciate that. Thank you for everything your team does.
Thank you. I'll pass that along.
Member Yeager?
No questions.
Okay, Member Schilling?
No questions. Tell your team, amazing, good job.
And Member Ons?
No question, but you guys do a great job, and I'd be happy to come out and help fill potholes if you need it, just to see what it's like.
Thank you.
Mr. Lunan, do we need a sign off on that, just in case? No, okay, just thought I would ask, just in case.
It's on the record, Mayor.
Yeah, it's on the record, okay, good deal. So, and I'm always happy when our toilets flush and all that kind of stuff too. They really do a good job, so I appreciate that. I'll make the motion to approve the proclamation declaring National Public Works Week as May 17, 2026 to May 23, 2026. Do we have a second?
Second.
We have a second by Member Lugar. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? So approved. Number 18, to consider a proclamation declaring National Police Week as May 11, 2026 and May 17th, 2026. Chief Bauer.
Yes. Mayor Iverson, members of council, this is just asking for the city to acknowledge the proclamation for National Police Week. It starts on May 11th through the 17th. As you know, we have 8 officers plus me that are very dedicated to providing public safety in our community. And on a daily basis, they are demonstrating professionalism, integrity, and a really strong commitment to our community. I appreciate the work that they do on a daily basis, and I understand that council does as well. And we're grateful for the work that they do and the acknowledgement that, you know, this last 6 years have been very, probably some of the most monumental times in change in law enforcement, including someone that had left Wyoming and left law enforcement and came back. And I think that speaks volumes to what the officers and our sergeants are doing on a regular basis here. So, and we're just asking for your continued support of public safety and to the officers that are working 24/7 in our community. That's all I have right now.
Chief Bowers, same thing. I've ridden along in the squad car, and scariest thing I've ever done in my whole entire life. So I appreciate.
Was it the driving or?
Well, you know, we'll talk about that
Yeah,
later.
got it.
No. So it was very eye-opening, and also how hard those police cars get ridden as well, and everything that they go through. Right? We had while I was with, we did have somebody who is not very nice. And so it was very interesting and eye-opening. We do have a young force, but I will say I am so proud every day of that force. They are, they step up to everything. They've done really, really great jobs, and really do appreciate them, and also you and your leadership and your mentoring of the sergeants that are coming up.
Thank you.
Yeah. So who did I leave off to? So Member Yeager, you're next.
No questions.
Member Schilling?
No questions.
Member Onstad?
I'd like to add that I see what they do on a daily basis, know what they do, and really appreciate the work that they do. And knowing how hard the work that they do, and coming from a similar field, I will go fill potholes.
Yeah.
I'll come up with something similar for you.
And Member Luger.
I don't have anything that could possibly top any of that.
Understood. Thank you.
We just really appreciate, yeah, we appreciate what you do, and we appreciate what our Wyoming PD does every day.
Thank you.
So I'll make the motion to approve the proclamation declaring National Police Week as May 11, 2026, and to May 17, 2026. Do we have a second?
Second.
We have a second by Member Onstad. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? So approved. Number 19, to consider a proclamation of the City of Wyoming, Minnesota, designating May 3 through 9, 2026 as Small Business Week in Wyoming, Minnesota. Mr. McFarland, you're
Hello,
going to
Amy.
take that, right?
Honorable Mayor and members of City Council, we will cap off our May month of city proclamations with proclamation declaring May 3rd through 9th as Small Business Week. Small businesses are prevalent throughout the City of Wyoming, as I'm sure you're all aware, from manufacturing to retail. They are found throughout. Small Business Week offers an opportunity for the council and the community to celebrate and uplift the contributions of hardworking entrepreneurs and to recognize the essential role that local businesses play in building a vibrant, connected, and resilient Wyoming community. So with that, we're just looking for a proclamation to state May 3rd through 9th as Small Business Week.
Okay. Questions or comments from Member Schilling?
No questions.
Member Onstad?
No comments.
Member Luger?
No questions, busy month. Huh? But we have a lot of really great local businesses.
We do.
So yes, if we can get out and support those folks, do it.
Very true. Member Yeager?
No questions.
Okay. And I have none either, but I'll again make that motion to approve proclamation of the City of Wyoming, Minnesota, designating May 3rd through the 9th, 2026 as Small Business Week in Wyoming, Minnesota, and that's coming as the chair of the EDA. All right, do we have, all in favor? Oh, we need a second.
I'll
We need a second. Second by Member Onstad. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? So approved. We're getting close here. Number 20, to consider a work session on May 19th, 2026. Mr. McFarland, that would be you.
Yes, Honorable Mayor and members of council. Staff are requesting a work session to review the proposed franchise agreement with Mid-Continent Communications. Staff and legal counsel have been working on the agreement throughout 2025 and 2026 as part of the renewal process, and it is anticipated to be near complete. Franchise agreements allow providers to use the city's right-of-way to deliver cable services and establish the terms, standards, and fees associated with that use. These agreements are typically negotiated on a long-term basis, often every 10 years, and set expectations for both the provider and the city. Staff and legal counsel will walk through the agreement, provide an overview of key provisions, and be available to answer questions. So we're looking to have that work session be set for Tuesday, May 19th at 5:30 p.m.
Has everybody looked at their calendars?
Yep, clear.
Everybody's in town? Okay, so Member Onstad, any questions?
5:30,
5:30,
okay.
okay? Member Luger?
No question.
Member Yeager?
No questions.
And Member Schilling?
No questions.
And I have none either, so we need the motion to approve the work session on May 19th, 2026 here in Chambers at 5:30 PM. Do we have a motion?
So moved.
We have a motion by Member Schilling. Did I hear a second from Member Onstad? No. From Member Luger? Okay. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? So approved. Number 21, to consider another work session on May 27, 2026. We have a lot coming this next year, don't we?
We're going to hang out a lot.
We are. Okay. Mr. McFarland.
Yes, Honorable Mayor and members of council. Every year since 2017, the Wyoming City Council and staff have taken time to complete a road and project tour. The street tour allows council and staff the ability to view street conditions, completed street projects, and review upcoming projects as a group. Fairview Meadows will once again be providing the bus and bus driver for that work session this year. We want to thank Fairview Meadows for their continued partnership with the City of Wyoming. They're fantastic. They don't ask anything of it, and they're very open on their schedule. We are requesting that it be held on May 27th at 5 p.m. We do it a little earlier just to ensure we can hit all of our stops. As you know, we get out at each one and we discuss and take notes and questions and so forth. So looking to have that one set for May 27th at 5 p.m.
Okay. Member Onstad?
No
5
question.
PM?
5 p.m.
Okay,
Yeah.
just making sure.
Yeah.
Okay, Member Yeager?
No questions.
Member Schilling?
Good?
Mayor Iverson's good, Mayor Onstad's good, Member Luger. Good. I keep calling everybody mayor too.
Yeah,
I
it
do.
works.
It works. All right, Member Luger.
I'm good, yeah,
All
yeah.
right, good. When they do the minutes, please note that I was calling everybody mayor, just, strict that.
Can do.
Yeah, okay. All right, so we need a motion to approve. I'll make that motion to approve the work session on May 27th, 2026 for the road project at 5 p.m. Do we have a second?
Second?
We have a second by Member Luger. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? So approved. We did add number 22 onto the agenda, which is resolution number 260550, a resolution directing the flag of the United States of America and the flag of the City of Wyoming to be displayed on all city-owned properties now or in the future where there is a flag displayed. Mr. Lunan, did you want to jump in on that? We did have the work session. I'm thinking maybe you might be the best to address this.
Sure, Madam Mayor, members of council. So this is a resolution, as Madam Mayor indicated, stemming from the work session that we all participated in just prior to this meeting. At this work session, the council gave consideration to the displaying of flags on city property. The direction provided by myself as the city attorney advised the city that there is no legal requirement for the city to display a Minnesota state flag, and further that the city has full and broad discretion in determining what displays are going to be shown on city property, and advising the city to ensure that they're retaining that discretion and the decisions are coming from the council. Pursuant to that discussion and the consensus of the council at that work session, I prepared a resolution that provides that the flag of the United States of America and the flag of the City of Wyoming will be displayed on all city-owned properties now and in the future where there are flags displayed. If you look at the resolution, it does provide that the city will display those two flags. The recitals provide that the city will remove any displays of the state flag. The city retains discretion and full authority to make these decisions, and that will be the displays until the city changes, until the city council provides other direction. Finally, the resolution does also maintain that the city of Wyoming shall display the POW and MIA flags on such city flag poles as deemed appropriate by city staff. In talking with Administrator McFarland here, we know of at least two, and I just wanted to make sure we didn't miss any, so I just said, wherever there may be. So I'm happy to answer any questions about the resolution or the process that council may have for me as city attorney.
We'll go with you. Okay, Member Schilling.
I don't have any questions. There's just that little concern about removing
Yeah.
a state flag. I'm in favor of this resolution, but I already stated that in the work session, so.
Okay, thank you. Member Onstad.
I think it's a very good compromise, but otherwise I have no questions.
Okay, Member Luker.
I don't have any questions. I have my concern voting on this tonight is that it doesn't give a ton of opportunity for public input, and I do share the same concern that was voiced earlier about cherry picking, which democratically decided outcomes we're willing to accept, especially given the overwhelming input that we all received about the official flag. However, one of my objections earlier in the work session was also that this distraction comes at a cost to the time and resources of the work that our city should be doing, like our facilities, our roads and infrastructure, and as well as establishing a 2027 budget for our residents. So in the spirit of moving forward and getting into the consequential work of council, I can get on board with this.
Thank you. Member Yeager.
Actually, I think this is a really good compromise. I mean, you can't please everyone, but I think, given the feelings in the community, it acknowledges everyone's feelings.
Thank you. All right, I will make the motion to approve Resolution 260550, a resolution directing the flag of the United States of America and the flag of the city of Wyoming be displayed on all city-owned properties now or in the future where there is a flag display. I make that motion. Do we have a second?
Second.
We have a second by Member Onstad. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? It has approved. Thank you. We are going to go to council reports. Let's start with Member Onstad.
I attended the work session just prior to this, and that's the end of my report.
Perfect.
Thanks for everyone coming out, especially my dad.
Yes. All right, and Member Luger.
I attended the work session earlier tonight. Thank you, Brett's dad, for coming out, as well as everybody else, and for everybody for watching.
Awesome. All right, it was good. All right, Member Yeager.
Oh, I attended the work session prior to the meeting. I also went over to the library yesterday for their extended access little event there. That was very nice. So thank you all for coming. Thank you, everybody, for the input you gave for the flags. And thank you all for watching.
Member Schilling.
I also attended the work session prior to the meeting. Thank you for those watching and those that attended, and I appreciated the input via email in reference to the flag, so.
Perfect. I attended 2 work sessions, the one before and now this one. So that was 2 before the last meeting. Just thought I'd put that out, just in case. So, you know.
Did we miss it?
Yeah, somebody missed it. All good.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I appreciate that. And then Chief Bauer, there is a big event coming up. It's about kids and bikes, right? Can you talk a little bit more about that? Because I'm coming on my new bike.
Oh.
So
Yes.
there you go. I'm kind of
Two
getting,
seconds here to pull
Yeah.
up the date and time. I
It's
believe
Sun-
it is on Friday,
Friday.
the June 5th.
Yeah,
We're doing the bike rodeo. We adjusted to do it on a Friday evening.
okay,
And we're doing it at the new city building, not at the elementary school this year.
okay.
So in the, on the north end of that parking lot.
Yeah.
We'll be
Okay.
doing it there. That allows us just a little more flexibility and to kind of highlight the new facility
Yeah.
as well, so,
In a bigger space.
yes,
It's also a nice new
Correct.
parking lot there, too.
yes.
Yeah,
right.
it is.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think all of the city council should show up on their bikes and do the bike rodeo part. You're bringing your bike,
M-Health-
right? Are you
M-Health
bringing?
is on standby, so
Yeah.
they'll
Are-
be there, the ambulance will be there already,
It's on
so.
state.
I
Not
thought you were-
implying anything, just,
you- yeah,
it's just
uh-huh.
another point to bring up.
Just another
That's all.
one. Yeah, we appreciate that.
Thank
So-
you for the acknowledgement.
Mr. Erickson, we just want to hear from you. You've been here all night, so I'm sure you have a nice update for us on the road project, or maybe just an update.
Yes, we are pleased with the bids. We do have a pre-construction meeting that will be scheduled here in the near future. We have contracts back that I'd like to have you sign this evening before we leave, so.
On it.
We did get those back from the contractor.
Yeah.
We are meeting, we have a quarterly meeting with our public works group. We're gonna talk capital improvements plans, next year's improvements, talk
Yeah, I would agree with that. So thank you for that update. I do know it's Nurses Week, so any nurses out there that are watching, listening, or whatever, really appreciate all the nurses and what you do and your dedication to your patients. So just putting that out there. I would also like to send our condolences to Mr. Linwood and his family on the passing of his father. So you're in our prayers and thoughts as you and your family go through this. So I want Mr. Linwood to know, and also his mom and his family to know. So with that, it's been a long meeting, longer than normal. It's 8:21. Do we have a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Ooh, we have a motion to adjourn by Member Luger, and we have a second by Member Schilling.
Third by me.
And all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.